CQ calling all radio amateurs and listeners. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you in plain English from amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mappishall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thanks for joining us. It's Sunday the 17th of August, and here is the GB2RS news broadcast prepared for you by the RSGB for all radio amateurs and listeners. And you can also find this news bulletin on our website at rsgb.org, along with links to groups and organisations that we may mention in this broadcast. This week's news headlines: how to read daily updates from the RSGB's YOTA Summer Camp team. There's a Women in Radio panel which will be held at the RSGB's convention in October. And the RSGB Awards Manager announces a new award series. We'll have more on those items in a moment, but first, this year's Youngsters on the Air Summer Camp begins tomorrow, Monday the 18th of August, and we're sending a team of 4 young members to take part. YOTA camps are an amazing opportunity for young people to operate the latest amateur radio equipment, to take part in construction activities, and to make international friendships. We'll keep you up to date with the group's progress with daily updates and photos. This year's camp is near Paris, and it's organised by REF, the French National Amateur Radio Society, as well as the IARU. And to read the daily blog updates, you can visit our website at rsgb.org/YOTA, which is Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha, -camp, which is Charlie Alpha Mike Papa. And once you're on that page, select YOTA Paris 2025 on the right-hand menu. We'll also share updates on our Facebook and X channels, and if you'd like to help young people to get on the air, then why not take part in YOTA Month in December 2025. To host special call sign Golf Bravo 25 Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha, or to find out more, you can email the YOTA Month coordinator. That's Jamie, Mike 0 Sierra Delta Victor, and Jamie's email address is yota.month@rsgb.org.uk. Now, the list of confirmed speakers for this year's RSGB convention continues to grow, with more names recently released. If you haven't already bought your tickets, you can book online now, and you can watch Dan McGraw, Mike 0 Whiskey Uniform Tango, explain printed circuit board design for low voltage switch mode power supplies. You can also get an insight into what we've learned from Solar Cycle 25 with a presentation by the chair of our RSGB Propagation Studies Committee, Steve Nichols, Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha. And we've also confirmed that RSGB Radcom technical editor Peter Duffett-Smith, Golf Mike 3 X-Ray Juliet Echo, will present a lecture on the importance of understanding the input impedance of your transmitter. The IRTS Youth Officer, Anna Canizares, Echo India 5 India X-Ray Bravo, will share her experience on involving young people in Ireland with amateur radio. Plus, we'll also hold a Women in Amateur Radio panel discussion. This exciting session will highlight 5 women who enjoy different aspects of amateur radio, and it will discuss the various opportunities, challenges and barriers that may exist in engaging more girls and women in amateur radio. To find out more about these thought-provoking presentations, you can go to rsgb.org/convention and select RSGB 2025 convention speakers on the right-hand menu. The convention takes place between the 10th and 12th of October, and it's a must-do on every radio amateur's calendar. Now, news that the RSGB Awards Manager has introduced a new awards series for amateur radio contacts with stations across all UK country and Crown dependency prefixes. The Worked All UK and Crown Dependency Prefixes Award offers several different subsets with slightly different rules for each. The award was proposed as a way to encourage intra-UK activity and to encourage contact with UK amateurs. To get involved with this new award, go to rsgb.org/awards, and once you're there, select Worked All UK and Crown Dependency from the right-hand menu, and you can find details of other awards offered by the Society with the same link. National Coding Week takes place during the third week of September, and we dedicate the whole month to amateur radio and coding activities. This year we've created 2 new activities for you to try, which build on workshops we shared in previous years, but you don't need to have done those first. RSGB Maker Champion Tom Wardle, 2 Echo 0 Juliet Juliet India, developed the Python Pocket Morse activity, which is a low-cost way to learn both Morse code and programming. The exercise covers the use of a BBC microbit V2 and the more advanced Python programming instead of block programming. It's a gentle introduction to Python and small computer programming, and you can do it without any prior knowledge of the microbit. You can download the full instructions from rsgb.org/coding, and when you're there, select Python Pocket Morse in the right-hand menu. And the other new activity is the LoRa Balloon Challenge. As well as the manual to guide you through the process of building your own LoRa tracker and seeing how far your signal can reach, we've released a video in which Fraser, Mike Mike 0 Echo Foxtrot India, will demonstrate the process. And you can find the manual and the video on our website at rsgb.org/LoRa, that's Lima Oscar Romeo Alpha, hyphen balloon, which is Bravo Alpha Lima Lima Oscar Oscar November. International Lighthouse and Lightship Weekend started at 0001 UTC on Saturday the 16th and ends at 2400 UTC today, the 17th of August. The event usually attracts more than 500 lighthouse entries from over 40 countries. To find out more and to see a list of participating stations, visit illw.net. That's India Lima Lima Whiskey.net. This year's British Inland Waterways on the Air event will run from Saturday the 23rd to Monday the 25th of August. The event is open to amateurs who use canals, towpaths, rivers, lakes or reservoirs for work or recreation. To find out more, visit the Nunsfield House Amateur Radio Group's website, which is November Hotel Alpha Romeo Golf.org.uk, and when you're there, follow the Bywater 2025 link. Now, a reminder to you to please send details of all your news and events to radcom@rsgb.org.uk. The deadline for your submissions is 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the Sunday broadcasts. And now we have details of rallies and events. Today the 17th, it's the Finningley Amateur Radio Society Rally, which opens its doors at 10 a.m. You can find details on golf0golfhotelkilo.com. Also today, the 17th, it's the West Manchester Radio Club Red Rose Summer Rally, which takes place at Mather Hall on Mather Lane in Lee, and the postcode is Whiskey November 7 to Papa Juliet, and doors open at 10 a.m. You can find more information on the Red Rose Rally tab at whiskeymikeromeocharlie.co.uk. On Sunday the 24th, the Milton Keynes Amateur Radio Society Rally takes place at Heron's Lodge Guide Activity Centre. That's on Bradwell Road in Loughton Lodge, Milton Keynes, and they have free on-site parking as well as catering and disabled facilities. Entrance is £3 and the doors open from 9 a.m. You can find more information on their website, which is Mike Kilo Alpha Romeo Sierra.org.uk/MK Rally. That's all one word, and it's Mike Kilo Romeo Alpha Lima Lima Yankee. And also on Sunday the 24th, it's the Torbay Amateur Radio Society Rally, which is taking place at Newton Abbot Racecourse from 10 a.m. with £3 entry. You can find more about this event at Torbay ARS, that's all one word, torbayars.org. And now we have the special event news. The Leicester Radio Society is active as Golf Bravo 8 Oscar Victor Juliet until tomorrow the 18th, and that's to mark the 80th anniversary of VJ Day. The station will be on HF 2 meters and 70 centimeters using Morse code, phone, FT4, FT8, SSTV and RTTY. For more information, see qrz.com and just look up the call sign Golf Bravo 8 Oscar Victor Juliet. Station 4 Uniform 0 India Tango Uniform is in use by the International Amateur Radio Club at the ITU headquarters in Geneva, and they're celebrating the 160th anniversary of the International Telecommunications Union. You can QSL via Logbook of the World and OQRS. And now we have the DX news. Steve, Zulu Lima 2 Kilo Echo, is active as Echo 51 Kilo Echo Echo. He's operating from Rarotonga, which is IOTA reference Oscar Charlie 013, and that's in the South Cook Islands, and he'll be active until tomorrow the 18th of August. He's operating Morse code and some SSB on the 40 to 10 meter bands. You can QSL directly to India Kilo 2 Delta Uniform Whiskey, and he will upload contacts to Club Log and Logbook of the World. And finally, we have news of Phil, Charlie 21 Tango Sierra, who's active in Nauru until September. He's already made over 83,000 contacts and hopes to reach 100,000 contacts before he leaves the island. Now, recently he was spotted on HF using FT8, and if you're lucky enough to contact him, you can QSL via Logbook of the World and OQRS. And now we have the contest news. On Tuesday the 19th, it's the RSGB's 1.3 GHz UK activity contest, which runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on 23 centimeters, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Thursday the 21st, it's the 70 MHz UK activity contest, which runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on 4 meters, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Sunday the 24th, it's the UK Microwave Group's 5.7 and 10 GHz contest, which runs from 0600 to 1800 UTC. Using all modes on the 5.7 and 10 GHz bands, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. And now we have the HF radio propagation report. This was compiled for you by Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar on Thursday the 14th of August. Well, last weekend we had unsettled geomagnetic conditions, and that was due to a massive solar coronal hole. At one point, the KP index rose to 6, with a drop in the maximum usable frequency. The Daub Digisonde failed to record much at all over a 6-hour period. Luckily, that disruption had passed by Monday the 11th, as the ionosphere started to get back to normal. The solar flux index reached 153 on the 10th before it fell back to 140 on Thursday the 14th. There have been many C-class solar flares and 10 M-class events over the past 5 days, but nothing of note. The maximum usable frequency over 3,000 kilometers was over 24.9 megahertz at times, but has generally been between 21 and 24 megahertz. Another coronal hole is now Earth-facing and could cause some disruption with a higher KP index between the 18th and the 19th of August. HFDX has been good, with Tango 30 Tango 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 in Western Kiribati worked on many bands, including 20, 15 and 10 meters using Morse code, FT4 and FT8. In 2 weeks there'll be just one operator on the station, and that will be until mid-September, so you have plenty of time to work him. Now we have news of Stanley, Alpha Hotel 6 Kilo Oscar in Hawaii. He's been heard on 15 meters Morse code, and this is a rare opportunity and a good way for anyone chasing their Worked All States award. Closer to home, Henry, Oscar Juliet 0 Juliet Romeo on Market Reef has been worked easily on 30 meters FT8, but get in quick because he's only there until tomorrow the 18th. Next week, NOAA predicts that the solar flux index will range from 140 to 150, with unsettled geomagnetic conditions for tomorrow the 18th until Wednesday the 20th, and that will probably be caused by the coronal hole which we mentioned earlier. They predict better conditions for the 23rd to the 27th with a maximum KP index of 3. Well, that's all for the HF propagation predictions. We now have the VHF and UP propagation news, and this was compiled for you by Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar. Last week's propagation highlights were SSB and CW contacts between the UK and Las Canarias on the 23 and 13 centimetre bands between Golf 4 Golf Lima Tango, Echo Alpha 8 Delta Mike Foxtrot, Echo Delta 8 Bravo Romeo Zulu and Echo Bravo 8 Alpha Yankee Alpha. There may be more tropo next week with high pressure over the British Isles. However, at this time of the year, any tropo will be due to temperature inversions. These are especially persistent over water, so look for marine paths across the North Sea or up to the east coast towards Scotland. Other good marine paths may be across the Channel or Biscay to Spain and beyond. The hot days of summer destroy surface inversions over land during the day, so if your station is inland, then your best chances of tropo in summer will be overnight and until mid-morning. Inversions can also be better around high pressure between 1 and 2 kilometers above ground, giving good DX prospects that are not affected by the heat of the summer day. In this high pressure period, it's more likely to be a surface inversion that drives the tropo propagation. There will be little rain except for parts of Ireland, South Wales and South West England, where a few thundery showers are possible, though these will not be particularly good for gigahertz rain scatter. There continues to be some aurora alerts, so monitor the KP index, and if it rises to 6, then beam north on the 10, 6, 4 and 2 meter bands to see if any auroral signals come back. The sporadic E season is coming into its closing weeks. Check 10 meters first. If sporadic E is very short skip there, then move up to 6 meters or beyond for a strong event. Digital modes are best, so use these to get clues as to where the CW and SSB paths might show up next. Meteor scatter operations have been very busy during the Perseids meteor shower. The Perseids should still provide some activity into the coming week. For moon bounce operators, moon declination is positive and rising. That's until Tuesday the 19th. So moon window lengths and peak elevation will follow suit. Path losses are rising again as we're now past perigee. 144 MHz sky noise is low to moderate for all of next week. And that's all from the VHF propagation team this week. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain, brought to you by station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mepershall, Bedfordshire. Well, that's all for this week's GB2RS news broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mepershall, Bedfordshire. The Radio Society of Great Britain compiled the news for you, and they represent amateur radio and radio amateurs in the UK and abroad. If you have a news item to share, then please do email it to us as far in advance as possible, and we'll be happy to include it for you free of charge in the GB2RS news broadcasts, Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. Send your news to the editorial team. Their email address is radcom@rsgb.org.uk. And if your news items are time sensitive, then you must send them to us by 10 a.m. on Thursday at the latest, prior to the news broadcasts. We retain copyright over all material that we transmit. And you can find information about amateur radio on our website, which is rsgb.org. And you can also download the full schedule of GB2RS broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. Well, we wish you 7-3 from the GB2RS news team. We hope you have a lovely Sunday and a great week ahead. This is Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mepershall, Bedfordshire, now listening for any calls or reports.